Hi, everybody. Elida Zweidler-McKay with Engaging Leadership, where we're all about helping you become an engaging leader and also engage your networks and your leadership in your organization so that you can have the kind of career that you want to have. Today, I want to talk to you about a pattern that's been coming up in conversations that I've been having with my clients and my potential clients a lot recently. The pattern goes like this. A person goes through something difficult in their career. So maybe it's that they have a challenging boss, maybe they go through a layoff, maybe they get a promotion into a new role that isn't quite something they're prepared for, that turns out to be more challenging than they expected. And because of how that event goes down, the experience takes a toll on their confidence. So the challenging boss who micromanages them and demeans their work has them questioning their own abilities, or the layoff has them wondering if they're even going to be employable in this economy, or the promotion that they're not quite ready for has them feeling like an imposter and wondering if they're worthy. The result is that they end up feeling like they're going through this fog. So just at the point where they need to feel really confident so that they can move on to a new opportunity or step into their leadership and take charge, they're feeling like they're stuck, like bogged down, drained by disappointment, frustrated, insecure. So instead of moving confidently into what's next, they're spinning their wheels and second guessing themselves and questioning their own abilities. Now, for some, this results in them truly feeling and staying stuck. They end up staying in that toxic job and absorbing even more of that disempowering and dispiriting energy. Or if they've been laid off, they may find themselves with very low energy for their job search, kind of going through the motions, but really uninspired to find what's next. And then that, becomes a vicious cycle, because if they show up with that kind of energy to their interviews and screening conversations, they're not going to make it through the next level. Or, if it's someone who's gotten a promotion into a role that they weren't quite ready for that turns out to be more challenging, they end up just kind of crossing their fingers and hoping it'll get better, or working harder and harder and harder to try to overcome their lack of skill and preparation, where they're, kind of muddling along and hoping for the best. And in any one of these situations, months can go by, even years, which is really wasted time as your career kind of stalls out. Now, other people don't stay stuck. They get in motion, and they get in motion fast. But the problem is they move too fast. Because they're still in that fog, kind of weighed down by the past, they sell themselves short. They might take the first opportunity that comes along, or they might aim low and kind of take a role that's beneath what they're fully capable of doing. So sure, they get a new job, but they end up in something that isn't the right fit for them. A good friend of mine went through this. She's a writer, and although she writes about a technical subject, her real specialty, like her real gift, is capturing the human spirit and telling stories about the people who do the work. So she was working in a job where she was able to do that, and it was great, except the environment got really toxic. There were some economic uncertainties, and then people started behaving badly, and it was just really, really, really stressful. So she jumped out and took the first opportunity she could find in her field, which unfortunately was a role that required a lot of really technical writing without the human element at all. Less than a month in, she was absolutely miserable, calling me up going, "What have I done?" While the new environment wasn't toxic in the same way as the old environment had been, people got along quite well. There was a nice esprit de corps. People were helping each other out. She found the work itself to be pretty soul-sucking. That's why I believe that any step you take in your career has to start with clearing the fog. So whatever it is that has you wanting to move, clearing that out is going to be the first most important thing you can do before you move on to that move. It just doesn't work to kind of dig in and grind through a job search, or dig in and push yourself to work harder in a role that you don't have the skills and tools to do. When you're still surrounded by that fog of disappointment or frustration or self-doubt, you won't be able to see a clear path forward and navigate yourself or your team through that effectively. So how do you clear the fog? Well, there are three things. First, you need a proven system that's going to help you clear out those negative emotions and negative stories and replace them with a hopeful vision for the future. That way, you can be moving toward what you want rather than just away from what you don't want. You can be moving forward into that next step in your career rather than settling for what your downtrodden self thinks that you can have. The second thing you need is a sense of conviction. You need to decide that no matter what's happened in your career up to this point, you deserve to have work that you enjoy. You deserve to be in a role where you're motivated and energized and where it feels good to go to work every day. You deserve to be respected and to be working with people who want what's best for you. So having that sense of conviction and making that decision that now's the time, you're not going to coast along anymore, you're going to step forward. And then the third thing you need is people around you who are supporting you and cheering for you. Now, that might be a coach or it might be a peer group. Any transition in your career, whether that's finding a new role or stepping into one with bigger responsibilities, is going to test your resilience. Transitions can be lonely, they can be scary, they can be frustrating, they can be dispiriting. So it's really important that you surround yourself with people who know how to support you through that. So many people find it uncomfortable to be with other people in their discomfort. And what they do is that they start to offer platitudes. It's not that bad, or look on the bright side, or they offer strategies. Well, what if you do this, or what if you do that? They're trying to be helpful, but that's not the kind of support that you need. You really need people who can help you discover what you want and help you create strategies that are going to help you get it. But not from a just try this, just try that kind of place, but from a place of really first getting clear inside yourself about what you want. Now, if you're walking around in a fog, you're carrying that frustration or disappointment or guilt or grief or imposter syndrome because your career isn't going the way you want, let's talk. We'll get on the phone for about 45 minutes, and during that time, we'll look at what's happening in your career right now, and we'll take a look at what you wish it would look like instead. And if I can help you clear that fog and get from where you are now to where you want to go, we'll talk about what that could look like. Or if I'm not the right fit, I'll point you to other resources, and I'll make sure that either way, you walk away from that call with some real clarity about what it's going to take for you to get your career moving in the right direction. Book your call now at zmcoach.net/call. I look forward to talking to you. Take care.